Hello everyone. In Fundamental Unit of Life Part 1 video, we have learned till osmosis, and in today's video we shall be learning about cell organelles. If you have not went through Part 1 video, I suggest you to go through that video first, and here is the link for that. So let's start today's topic, cell organelles. And here are the cell organelles that we are going to study today. So one being nucleus, the second being endoplasmic reticulum, third being Golgi apparatus, fourth being lysosomes, fifth mitochondria, sixth plastids, and seventh vacuoles. So coming to the first cell organelle, nucleus. Nucleus is also called as a master cell organelle. Okay, so why it is called so? It is called so because nucleus is responsible to maintain all the cell activities of the cell. Okay, it controls and coordinates all the activities of the cell, and that's the reason it is called as a master cell organelle. Okay, and now coming to the structure of the nucleus. Nucleus is made up of two-layered membrane. Okay, so consider just a rough diagram I am writing. The nucleus has got two membranes, or you can call it as double layered membrane, and that membrane we call it as a nuclear membrane. Okay, and this membrane is porous in nature, which means it has got many pores which allows the movement of particles in and out of it. Okay, and next, nucleus has got a something called a chromatin. So chromatin is nothing but it's an entangled mass of thread like structure, okay, which resides inside this nucleus. Okay, and this chromatin only will convert into chromosomes which are of rod shaped, which will carry the genetic information in the form of DNA from parents to offspring, and these DNA are in turn made up of a functional unit called as genes. Let me show you a picture so that you can understand better. So here you can see, right, so this is a chromosome. Okay, when you go on unwinding it, you can see it is made up of histone proteins, and when you go on uncoiling it, you can see the segments, right? So this is nothing but a DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and these are nothing but, we call it as, suppose if you consider this segment or this segment, whichever you take, okay, so that is visible in the form of ladder, right? So this is nothing but a gene. Okay, the functional unit of DNA is nothing but gene. So next, coming to nucleotide. What is nucleotide? Okay, so in many unicellular organisms, if you consider, the nuclear region is not very well defined because of the lack of presence of nuclear membrane. So then based on the presence of nuclear membrane, we have divided the organisms into two parts. So one being prokaryotes and second being eukaryotes. Okay, so prokaryotes are the organisms which do not have very well defined nuclear membrane, so that their genetic material would be floating inside the cytoplasm itself. But if you consider the eukaryotes, those organisms would be having very well defined nuclear membrane. Okay, yes, so this is all about nucleus, which is called as a master cell organelle. Okay, so let's move on to the next cell organelle, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so endoplasmic reticulum is a large network of tubular and sheet-like structures. Okay, consider this as a nucleus. It just resides next to the nucleus itself, which makes like a tubular kind of structures. Okay, let me show you a diagram so that you can get a clear picture of it. Okay, so consider this is. Okay, so this is a cross-sectional view of a cell where you can see that, see, this is a purple color, right, which you can see in the purple color is what? Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Okay, so based on its appearance, we have divided the endoplasmic reticulum into two types. One being rough endoplasmic reticulum, or RER, and another one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or you can call it as SER. Okay, the rough endoplasmic reticulum appears rough because of the presence of ribosomes on it. Okay, just consider this is an endoplasmic reticulum where just because of the presence of the ribosomes are also called as in protein factories because it has a main function of producing the proteins. And next is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, the name itself is indicating that it appears smooth, right, because of its appearance. It will be just like this. Okay, it will not be having any sort of ribosomes on it. Okay, so these are nothing but ribosomes. Okay, so the main function of SER is to produce the lipids. okay, or fat molecules. Okay, so you got to know the types of endoplasmic reticulum and its function, right? So next, coming to a term called biogenesis. What exactly it means is, see, I already told you that endoplasmic reticulum has got a main function of producing proteins and lipids, right? So now the produced proteins and lipids are being utilized by the same cell organ in order to build its own membrane. So this process of self-utilizing the produced substances is what we call it as biogenesis. Okay, because the composition of endoplasmic reticulum, its membranes is also made up of lipids and proteins as plasma membrane. Okay, so this is all about endoplasmic reticulum. So let's move on to the next cell organelle, which is Golgi apparatus. Okay, Golgi apparatus was first described by Camillo Golgi, and these consist of a system of membrane bound vesicles which are arranged like parallel shaped on top of each other. Okay, and this is what we call it as the cisterns. Okay, and usually this Golgi apparatus lies next to the endoplasmic reticulum because it has got a main function of transportation. Okay, as I told you before, endoplasmic reticulum has got a main function of producing lipids and proteins, right? So this Golgi apparatus has got the main function of transportation, also storage and modification. Consider there are like a simple sugars, it will store in the Golgi apparatus and it will make polysugars. Okay, so this is all about Golgi apparatus. So the next cell organelle is lysosome. Okay, so the lysosomes, okay, lysosomes helps to keep the cell clean by digesting the foreign particles entering inside the cells, or even by removing or digesting the worn out cell organelles. Okay, like this, the lysosomes plays a very important role in keeping the cell very clean. Okay, and lysosomes are sac like structures, okay, which will be having many digestive enzymes inside it. So this enables the lysosomes to digest the foreign particles which are coming inside it. Okay, sometimes it happens because of the disturbance of the cell, it might cause the damage to lysosome sac, and it happens that these enzymes would come out of the cell, which means the lysosome might burst. So in this case, what happens, it will digest the cell itself, right? So the lysosomes end up killing the cell itself. So the lysosomes are also called as suicide bags. Okay, and you might get a doubt from where this enzymes or digesting enzymes, so this might be getting from. Okay, so this is also produced by your endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, especially the ARIA, rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this is all about lysosomes. So let's move on to the next cell organelle, mitochondria. Yes, so mitochondria is also called as a powerhouse of the cell, right? So why it is called so? It's because as the mitochondria is responsible for producing the energy in the form of ATP molecules, okay, which is nothing but adenosine triphosphate. This is nothing but a energy currency. So next is coming to the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria is made up of two layers. Okay, one outer being very porous in nature, which means it has got so many pores inside it, which allows the movement of particles in and out of the mitochondria. Okay, but the second membrane is highly folded. Okay, and thus the foldings increases the surface area and also increases the surface area for generating the ATP. Okay, so that's all about its structure. And then this mitochondria has got a very special character where in which it has got its own DNA. Okay, none of the organelles, if you see, they were not having their own DNA, okay, other than nucleus, which contains the main DNA part. But there is one more exception called plastids. I'll come to that later. Okay, so this has got its own DNA which is capable enough to produce its own proteins with the help of this DNA. Okay, so this is all about mitochondria. So let's move on to the next cell organelle, plastids. Okay, yes. Coming to the plastids, so plastids are found only in the plant cells. Okay, and these plastids are not found in the animal cells. And yes, mainly we have two types of plastids, one being chromoplast and another being leucoplast. The name itself is telling, chromo always refers to color, okay. So chromoplast basically contains many color pigments, of which one is chloroplast, which contains the green pigment, okay. And that green pigment we call it as chlorophyll, right. As you all know that how important chlorophyll is in the process of photosynthesis, right. Plants prepared their own food with the help of this chlorophyll pigment only. Yes, now coming to the leucoplast, the leucoplast plays a very important role in storing oil granules, fats, okay, the required materials, or even sometimes starch also. So this is all about the types of plastids. And also the internal structure of the plastids has got numerous membrane layers which is embedded in a substance called as an stroma, okay. And like mitochondria, plastids also has got its own DNA which can manufacture its own proteins, okay. So these are the only two cell organelles which have got its own DNA other than nucleus, okay. So this is all about plastids. So the next cell organelle is vacuoles. Okay, so vacuoles are the storage sacs which mainly contains solid or liquid items in it, and vacuoles are very small sized in animal cells like this, but in plants the vacuoles will be of very large size. Sometimes it happens it can occupy almost 50 to 90% of its cell space, okay. And then the vacuoles mainly contain, so consider this is a cell or a central vacuole which has occupied almost 90% of the cell space, and this vacuole is made up of cell sap, okay. And this cell sap is nothing but a liquid material which will be having all sort of required materials like, you know, lipids, proteins, amino acids, like this, the required materials which are essential to carry out the activities of a plant cell will be stored in the cell sap, okay. And also this cell sap provides a turgidity and rigidity to the cell, okay. So this is all about the vacuoles in the plant cell. So if you consider vacuoles in amoeba, like consider the unicellular organisms, okay, which will be having irregular shape. Sometimes the vacuoles in the unicellular organisms, right, which will be helpful in storing the food. So you can call this as a food vacuole where it will be storing its food, okay. And sometimes the vacuole plays a very important role in expelling the excess water from the cell and waste from the cell, okay. So this is all about vacuoles. So each cell thus acquires the structural ability to perform its function because of the organization of the membrane and its cell organelles. And this helps the cells to perform the functions like respiration, nutrition, and clearing out the waste material. And thus the cell is called as a fundamental structural and functional unit of life. So this chapter ends here. If you found this video useful, please like and share the video, and do not forget to subscribe our channel to watch more useful videos like this. Thanks for watching.